my 7th and 8th graders. This is Miss Haynes. Today I want to talk to you about the color theory. I'm sorry it's a little bit later than normal, but I have my crayons, or if you have some markers that will help you, or even colored pencils. This will help with today's lesson. I'm going to try something new. So if we were in the classroom, we'd actually be drawing a circle and I'd talk about how the color wheel comes into place. If you've already had Miss Livingston, you probably already have done this. But when we talk about the color theory, we've already talked about line, we've talked about value, we talked about form. So now we're going to talk about the color theory and how colors come into play. So when I think about color, I think about the rainbow. And if you remember, the rainbow was God's promise to us, and it gives us lots of colors. And actually, most of you think as the rainbow as an arch, but the rainbow is really a circle. My background is science, so we only see half of it, but a circle because there's God's never-ending promise. And there's lots of colors on the rainbow, and we can see the red, orange, yellow, the Roy G. Biv like you did before, and all the other colors that are on there. But we can transfer this to a color wheel. The one that I put online only had 6 colors, but really what I want to do is a 12-color color wheel. And let's talk about what the 3 primary colors are. So if you've had any kind of art before, if you have any kind of background, you should know that the 3 primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. So I kind of think about it like the Trinity. So I'm going to use my crayons, my Crayola crayons, and I've already given you a color wheel that has these colors, but if we did this in class, we would actually be drawing the circle and putting the partitions in the pie. And if you look on my color wheel here, we have red, which you guys are going to color, and this is your next assignment. And you can either mix the colors yourself using markers, colored pencils, or crayons like I'm using, and I'm just using Crayola, and I'm marking on the wall, which is not the smoothest. So you're going to do red, and this is a primary red. It's not mixed with any other colors. These are the pure colors. And I'm going to do yellow next. And you'll see color wheels sometimes don't have the yellow on top, and that's okay. I usually think about it like a clock with the 12 on it, with the different hours. And then we have blue. And if you notice, they are evenly spaced apart. Whoops, I just broke my crayon, but that is okay. And this blue is not the best blue, but we're going to have to make it work. These crayons are really old. They're actually my mother-in-law's from when she taught kindergarten 20 years ago. But I found them in the house, and I'm going to use them. Okay, so red, yellow, and blue are the 3 primary colors. And if you can, I would like for you to label those primary on yours. Another way that we write primary is a 1 with a little 0. That's a mathematical notation for primary. So we have primary and primary. These are the natural colors that appear in its purest form. Now, if we mix the primaries together, and I'm going to show you just like a little experiment. I'm going to use the red and the yellow. If I take the yellow and the red and I mix it, I'm going to get a secondary color. So off to the side, I'm just going to do yellow, and I'm going to put a red, and I probably should have put the red first, and I might have to put the yellow over it with crayon, and you'll get an orange color if you blend it really well. I'm lucky because I have a Crayola set, and the Crayola set actually has orange in it. So I'm going to do this red in the middle. So when you mix 2 primary colors, you're going to get a secondary color. And if you notice, they're always in the middle of the 2 that it makes. So if I mix yellow and red, I get orange, a secondary color. So 2 primary colors make a secondary. So the secondary, I don't know if you guys can see that, colors are red and orange, yellow and red make orange. And so if I mix yellow and blue, it makes green. And if I mix red and blue, I'm going to get, which most people say is purple, but in the art world, we don't say purple. We say violet. Okay, so these are the secondary colors, and I just dropped my crayon. So if you look on the Crayola packet, it actually says violet on there. They don't actually say purple. It says purple in brackets. So if I mix red and blue, I'm going to get purple. Remember, this is a secondary color. And this is what I'm going to ask you to do on your assignments. Please color it better than I'm coloring it because I'm not doing such a great job. And if I mix yellow and blue, I'm going to make green. Now my green is not the best. And if you know, they're evenly spaced apart. So I'm going to go ahead and label those as my secondary colors. So, secondary. And if you notice on mine, my violet did not pronounce, so I'm just going to put it in there. And I'm going to put a 2 with the little degree symbol, 2 degrees, like 2, that means secondary. And that is secondary. Okay, which leaves a whole bunch of other blanks. So the other blanks are a mixture of the primary and the secondary. So when we have the primary and the secondary mixed together, they're called tertiary. Tertiary, and that's a weird word. So here are the tertiary, and there's a lot of them. Because I have 6 here, so I have 6 tertiary. Because if I mix yellow and green, I get yellow-green. So the tertiary colors are a mixture of a primary plus a secondary, but we always write the primary first. We put a little dash between them. So I have yellow dash green, and then between the green and the blue, I have blue-green. We always say the primary first. So we don't call it green-blue, we always call it blue-green. So the next one is blue-green. So between the blue and the violet, we're going to write down the name of the primary color first, which is blue, and then the secondary color second. So this is blue-violet. And if you are using a Crayola set like me, they have these colors in there. If you look really good, like the 64 or higher usually has it. So if I mix a red, which is primary, and a violet, which is secondary, I'm going to get red, writing the primary first, hyphen violet. Then if I mix red and orange, I'm going to write the primary first, the secondary second, so red, orange. And last but not least, it's going to be yellow, orange. Remember writing the primary first, hyphen, orange. So I'm cheating again. If we were in the classroom, I'd probably make you do these in markers first, and then we do it in paint. So I'm going to cheat, and I actually have my Crayola one that says red, orange. So I'm going to find my red, orange, and there you go. It's a mixture of these two. So if we were in the classroom, we'd actually mix some, we would do this first with markers, and then we would mix it with paint so we could practice mixing our colors. But luckily we have crayons that already have these at my house. I hate that we don't have paint. That really bothers me. So I have yellow orange, which is this one from Crayola as well. You can see that it's a mixture of the two of them. And I don't know if some of you have been to the Crayola factory, but it's pretty neat. I haven't been there, but I've seen videos of it. Okay, then you have yellow green. So I have 2 of these here. I have green yellow. Oops, I think I have the wrong one. Which is a mixture of these two together. It looks more yellow than it should, but I probably picked the wrong one. Then we have blue-green. I couldn't find the blue-green, but I found a teal, which is very similar. So we're just gonna go with the teal. If you can't find one exactly, and you find one that's like a mixture of the two, you can go ahead and use that. I don't mind, because I know you're just trying to deal with whatever you have right now. So go ahead and color these in nicely, and then you're going to go label which ones are the tertiary. And then you have blue-violet. And actually blue-violet looks very violet. It actually says blue-violet on there. So blue-violet doesn't look that much different than the violet itself. It's a little bit darker. And then you have red-violet. Just kind of a little bit more red than you would think. And I actually have 2 of these. This one says violet red, so I want the red violet. Here's the red violet. And there's the red violet. So if you don't have these colors and you try to mix it, I won't take any marks off. I understand that you're trying to use whatever you have, but the last thing you're going to do is write down tertiary. Now tertiary is T-E-R-T-I-A-R-Y. So I'm going to write either a 3 with a little degree sign beside it. Tertiary, which are always hyphenated, and remember that they are always written with the primary first and then the secondary. Now, one of the other things I would talk about if we were in the classroom is that notice that these are 12, okay? So, sorry, that was primary. So I always think of the first primary colors were like God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. Then you had the secondary colors, and they actually made the Star of David, which I did not show that to you. And then the tertiary colors are 12, like the 12 tribes of Israel and the 12 disciples. So that's always something neat that I like to think about. And then the number 12 is very important. Even in the color wheel, God gave us all the colors, and here they are. And the other thing that we're going to talk about with this color wheel is when you start creating art, the color wheel comes really into play when you're mixing colors and when you are blending things together. For example, something that's opposite of each other is called a complementary color. Now, not like a compliment or something nice you say, that would be an I. This is an E, complementary. I don't know if you can see that very well in the video. So if it's right across from each other, it's called a complementary color. So yellow is a complement to violet. So yellow and violet are complementary colors. Red and green are complementary colors. So we tend to use that at Christmas time. Orange and blue violet, orange and right across from it is blue are complementary colors. And sometimes they use that in college colors. So our next assignment is going to be using complementary colors, and I'll talk more about that again, but I just wanted to mention it to you. So once again, let's just recap. Color theory. We go by the color wheel. We start off with the 3 primary colors. The 3 primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. Red, yellow, and blue. And they're easily spaced apart. So I want you to label the primary colors and color them. The secondary colors are a mixture of the primary colors. So if I do red and yellow, I get orange. If I do yellow and blue, I get green. And if I do blue and red, I get violet, not purple. And these are called secondary colors. So we're going to label those secondary. The last is going to be the tertiary colors, and that's going to be a mixture of a primary and a secondary color. So primary and a secondary mixed together, you're going to write the primary color first with the dash, and then the secondary color. So yellow, green would be in the middle of yellow and green. Blue, green would be in the middle of blue, green. Red, violet would be, oops, I missed one. Blue, violet would be in the middle of blue and violet. Red, violet would be in the middle of that, which we just talked about, and so on and so forth, and go ahead and label those tertiary. Take a picture, attach it to Teams, and that is your assignment for this week. If you need me, just let me know. I'm going to post some Zoom hours. When I originally sent the email, I realized Mr. Herring wanted us to meet 2 times a week, but then he realized that wasn't going to work with everybody's schedule. This one probably works better in a video. So I'll just post hours, or if you need me at all, just chat with me on Teams. I always have my phone with me. Usually I'll get back to you within an hour or so. Or let me know if I can set up a Zoom session with you, okay? Or even on Teams, because Teams has the same kind of thing with the video chat. Okay, so if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm sorry we're not in the classroom, and it looks like we're going to be out for the rest of the year, so let's just do the best we can. I'm also going to put on a survey to see if you have paints at home, because I know some of you may have paints and some of you may not. So until the next time, we'll see you on Zoom, or just send me an email or chat on Microsoft Teams if you need me. This is Miss Haynes. Talk to you later.